Our business editor, Kate Moody, is here with me. Good to see you, Kate.
Hi, Inka.
So the war in Iran has driven inflation in the US to the highest level in 3 years. Tell us more.
Well, prices have now risen for 3 months in a row, Yinka, as economists warned that higher energy prices would really trickle down to households and businesses. Now the consumer price index has hit 4.2%. That is the highest monthly reading since April of 2023. And you can see on this graph over the past decade or so, inflation peaked at over 9% in 2022. That was the aftermath of the pandemic and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. They're 4.2% for this May 2026. Costs for food, fertilizer and rent all rose, but the main driver was energy prices, about a quarter higher than they were just a year earlier. Petrol prices alone are 40% higher than they were this time last year. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular petrol in the U.S. is $4.15, compared to just under $3 before the U.S. and Israel launched the war with Iran. Well, U.S. President Donald Trump described the inflation data as, quote, great. He said he was confident that prices would fall, quote, like a rock as soon as the war was ended. Take a listen.
No, I love it. The numbers were great. You know what I really love? I love the inflation. You know why? Because as soon as this war is over, you know, I can say it now. Something you didn't know. Do you know we've been taking out millions of barrels of oil? Nobody knows it. You know who doesn't know about it? Iran, until right now. We took out the other night 22 ships. Late at night with no lights, because they don't have any radar, because we blasted the crap out of it. We took out, that's why oil's $85 a barrel.
And just a quick fact check there, oil prices are not in fact $85 per barrel, although they have fallen from the triple-digit levels of recent weeks. US WTI closed just above $90 per barrel this Wednesday. The international benchmark Brent crude at 93 there. Well, that statement from the Oval Office came hours after a social media post in which the American president said he had directed the military to execute a secret mission to support oil tankers and other commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. He said that had resulted in more than 100 million barrels of oil making its way through the strait and into the open market. He goes on to say in that post that the U.S. controls the Strait of Hormuz and, quote, it's over for Iran. Well, on the same day, the U.S. Department of Energy said it was soliciting proposals for an exchange of 40 million barrels of crude oil from its strategic reserve. That's essentially offering to loan that amount to oil companies who may have been struggling with supplies. It's part of a coordinated release of a total 400 million barrels of oil reserves across 32 countries to ease supply pressures during the Iran war. The U.S. emergency stockpile has now fallen to its lowest levels since Ronald Reagan was in office in the 1980s. Let's check in on the rest of the day's trading action. A mostly lower close for the major European indices, with investors still cautious about that ongoing volatility in the Middle East. The Frankfurt DAX down nearly 1 percentage point, about half that in Paris. Wall Street has also closed in the red, the Dow dropping 900 points at the close, the Nasdaq down nearly 2%. Chip stocks were all lower. This as the Nasdaq gets ready for what is expected to be the biggest ever market launch, the IPO of SpaceX. Elon Musk's company is set to go public on Friday. It has set a price of $135 per share. Some 555 million shares will go on sale. It could raise $75 billion, valuing SpaceX at over $1.75 trillion. And it could catapult the world's richest man into a category of his own. Yuka Royer has more.
When SpaceX's massive Falcon Heavy rocket sent a red Tesla Roadster with a dummy driver into space, Elon Musk said it felt surreal.
That was epic. I think that's probably the most exciting thing I've ever seen, literally, ever.
6 years later, he's gearing up for another epic event. The company's hotly anticipated market debut is set to raise a whopping $75 billion.
Combine it being the biggest, a wild valuation, and Elon Musk and, you know, rockets and AI and satellites. Like, I mean, what's not to like about it?
Founded at the dawn of the 21st century, SpaceX has revolutionized rocket launches with its reusable technology and become NASA's main transport to the International Space Station. Since 2019, it's been launching satellites into space, building the Starlink internet communication networks. And this year, SpaceX incorporated xAI into its fold. Some analysts say the $1.75 trillion valuation is overrated because not all of these ventures are profitable. Regulatory findings revealed XAI burned $6.4 billion in 2025 alone. Its rocket business also lost money. Only the satellite wing has been turning a profit. The IPO will likely make Elon Musk himself the world's first trillionaire and won't fundamentally change the way the company is run.
The fact that Musk controls 85% of the votes, no one else is going to get a say in that company. I mean, you might as well call it Elon X because that's what it is.
Whatever happens, the listing is set to make Wall Street history and will be a precursor for more blockbuster IPOs. OpenAI and Anthropic are both waiting in the wings.